All right, we're going to check out this Rossi 972, I believe it is today. It is a 6-shot, 6-inch barrel, 357 Magnum. Rossi actually brought back their revolvers. They didn't make them for, I think, well over a decade. So the new model equivalent to this is the RM66. But back in the day, this was, I want to say early mid-2000s production. They were called the, again, if I'm not mistaken, the 972. But the new RM66 is basically the same thing. Now, you can even see right there, Taurus. So a Rossi is essentially a Taurus. Brass Tech, imported in Miami, Florida there. At least these ones. Don't know about the more modern ones. Real nice, slick looking little revolver there. I really love this dude. Excellent rubber grips on it. Sorry about the dirty hands. I was doing, well, 357 mag gel test earlier, so I've been picking stuff out of the dirt and the gel and such, so please forgive the dirty hands there. You got fully adjustable sights for windage and elevation. There's your sight picture there. That front's squared off there, but yeah, you saw it for a second. It's in and out of focus, so pretty nice little sights there. Single action, double action. Like I said, it's a 6-shot. I'm sure it helps that this thing's well broken in, but she is super smooth. Everything feels like real nice and polished. Excellent trigger on this. Single action, double action is nice too. I'll get some weights for you if double is not too heavy, which I don't know. It feels like it's under 12 pounds. It might even, I don't know, maybe around 10 or 11 or something like that. We'll see if we can get a double action. But the single action I'm in love with. Like, very small amount of creep if you really try for it and you squeeze super slow. Look how steady that is. I am a right-handed shooter, and this is my left hand, so I'm less stable with my left hand. And those targets back there, 15 yards, those bowling pins are only like pretty steady, but very little creep, only if you really try to look for it. Again, sorry about the dirty hands doing gel tests, but super light pull. I mean, it feels like 2.5, 3 pounds to me, so we'll check that in just a second, but let me get that for you real quick. I didn't get any creep there. It's only if I like really slowly try to pull through, like when I'm trying to place perfect shots on my gel blocks. So applying pressure now. Yeah, I can't even find it there. You got to really look for it. And that's a super nice, fine, crisp trigger. Let me get a weight on that for you real quick. All right, let me see what I can capture here for you guys. So let's see if we can even get a double. And thanks to my buddy at Cranky Gun Reviews for this trigger gauge here. It's coming back. Yeah, nice. It started coming back in the 7-pound range. The trigger started traveling rearward, and we ended up at 9 pounds, 13 ounces there. But thanks to Cranky for this. Make sure you go check out his channel. I figured I'd mention it again. I've already said thanks a ton of times for the trigger gauge, but you know, he's a bit of a revolver buff. So if you guys are into revolvers, definitely check out his channel. He's got some good stuff on there. So let's see what the single action is here. What was my guess? 2.5 to 3. It might be lighter than that. It feels great. It went off before it was in the 2s when it went off, but it kept going up. Let me pull slower here, see what happens. I don't know if that's better or worse for getting an accurate read. So yeah, it seems like it, according to the gauge, just barely over 3 pounds, but it honestly, see if I pull a little quicker there, we got 210. So somewhere in the upper 2s to low 3s is what it seems like. Yeah, real nice freaking single action on that guy. And also thanks to my brother for loaning it today. We're out here doing gel tests with it. I even did a little chrono velocity test with it. And now I'm doing a review video with it, so really appreciate the loan. Now in said chrono video, I figured since I had, you know, a 6-inch barrel, which typically velocities are rated out of a 5 or 6-inch barrel for 357, and I had both 38 special and 357 mag that I picked up today just to do this review video, that I do a quick little chrono video It may be up before you see this. If so, I'll link it in the description. If not, it'll be posting shortly after, and I'll try to remember to come back to this video and put it in the video description if you want to check that out. Also, we just gel tested these. Like I said, we got some Federal soft points here, Blazer jacketed hollow points. I'll try to link that in the video description as well, if that was posted before the review. We're going to be shooting mostly these today, and I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. The velocity not as high as I was hoping for. These are pretty light loads, and I'm having to conserve these. There's not very many left in each box. I'm saving them for some future videos I have planned coming up, comparing to other revolver calibers. So, and I'm on an extremely tight budget, so we need to save those. But I think I'll put a couple of each of these through in the video, just so we're using some good, I would say full power. They're full power to me, but then somebody's going to go, that ain't full power. Buffalo Bore give you 800 foot-pounds of energy. But with the velocity we're getting from these guys right here, you know, we're getting close to 600 foot-pounds of energy. And I say that because we exceeded the factory rated velocity there. So anyways, that's the ammo we'll be using. Mostly, I'll start out with 38, then we'll go to the 357, but these are weak, so I'll pop a few of these in here too. We'll start out on my target here, 7 yards. See what kind of little group. It seems to be shooting pretty much point of aim. Target's a little busy there. I'll just go for that dot on the right there. You just have to remember those 3 shots are already there. And I'm not the best shot in the world freehand, especially with a long-barreled, heavy front revolver like that. But we'll see what I can do on that little dot on the right there. Only put 5 in her there, and not bad. 7 yards freehand, just kind of zinging them down here. It's about a 1-inch group. I'm sure off a bag this thing would shoot phenomenally, and actually I don't know why I didn't think of it until just now. But I should definitely try to head down to the rifle range today and include in this video some 100-yard shots on my steel gong down there. Usually when I have a pistol that's capable, I'll sometimes run down there and do that, so we'll get at least 50-yard shots in this video if I make it down there. Right, let's knock some of that steel down. I'm going to start out with that Armscore 38 Special with the first cylinder, and then I'll reload in front of the camera there, and then this will be the Armscore 357 mag for the second cylinder. Super controllable, and like I said, you know, those Armscore, even the 357 mag, they did definitely have a lot more pop than the 38 Specials there, but they're pretty tame by comparison to just these. So easy to shoot it fast. Of course, you know, it's a great revolver, so that makes it a little bit easier to do that as well. So let me go down there and try some double action with the well, we'll do 38 Special first again, and then 357, sticking with the Armscore for now. I did not stop for the bird. I just figured I'd show you what I was looking at real quick. Alright, so I'm not quite sure what's up with the double action. It's obviously not wanting to set those off. I'm getting light primer strikes down there. It looked like half the indent of that. Again, sorry about the dirty fingers. I was doing gel test earlier. So, you know, I would say, oh, Armscore must have harder than typical primers, but that's not the case considering it was shooting them all fine, single action. It's just having an issue with double action. So maybe the hammer spring on this is weak now. I mean, the thing's 20 years old, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. But she's definitely not striking them as hard double action as single. So we'll have to go back to single action here. I don't know, that one there makes me maybe want to contradict my previous statement there. You know, because that was single action and that one didn't want to go off. I had a light primer strike. I didn't have any issue until I switched to this Armscore. I didn't have any issues with these today. I'll ask the owner, see if he's had any issues recently, and I'll report that in the video here. But it may be, in fact, hard primers on the Armscore here. So it may also only be the 38 specials, and maybe the 357 mag is fine. So let me try those 357 mag of theirs now, double action, and see what happens. I mean, they're likely the same primer, but maybe not. And, you know, could vary by lot number, and maybe one particular batch was a little harder than another, etc. So let's double action with these 357s of theirs. And just so you can see, that is the 357. So let's try double action on those.
Did not realize there was a hole in my shirt, and apparently there's mud on my butt from sitting on the ground doing the gel tests. I went back to single action here since it was clearly still having issues double.
So I don't know, definitely still an issue with double action with the 357 there. And so let's try single again here, obviously, because I mean double is giving us issues, so we'll only be single action from here on out. Like I said, if I had more of these and didn't need them for upcoming videos and didn't have such a tight video, I'd just go ahead and shoot the remainder of what I have of the other brands double action. If they all went off, it'd be like, yeah, no doubt it's the Armscore primers, but unfortunately I can't do that due to my budget. So, but I got it loaded up with 3 of the 38 special and then 3 of the 357 mag here. That gong's up there about 20 yards. We're freehanding back here behind the camera. I'm gonna go flip up that back row there. It's 15 yards. It's already been laser rangefinder confirmed previously. If you guys are looking to get yourself a good budget rangefinder, link in the description for this one. Comes in well under $100. I've been using it for several years. I don't even think I've had to change the batteries in the thing yet. But we'll set these up and see if we can knock those over from 15 yards. I think I mistakenly spoke earlier. The top up here is like 1 7/8 inch wide. So down here they're like, you know, 4.5 inches across. So it's like even the meaty part of those bowling pins, it's like a headshot at 15 yards. So let's see if I can achieve that back there free-handed. No doubt the revolver's accurate enough, but let's see if I'm accurate enough with it. All right, we'll We'll do it with the 38s first, 38 special, still with the arms core.
I didn't realize I was in the way of the targets here, but you can still hear them fall.
And now the arms core 357. I knew I was going to miss that little guy. That's the ultimate test. I hit it all the time. I should have hit it. And I was like, I should probably slow down a little bit for that last little guy. But I was like, nah, I'm doing so good. I'll keep the pace. Of course, I just barely miss off to the right. Of course, you guys back here, it might look a little different because the camera angle is different than the angle I'm shooting at. It might have looked left to you, but I just barely missed the right edge. But that was 100% my fault. All right, so I'm not sure what the best camera angle is to show this, but we'll kind of do like a little 45, 30 degrees, something like that. So I'll do the arms core first, 38 special, then the 357 mag, which I said they're feeling pretty weak for 357, and compared to my chrono video, that the velocity we're getting would confirm that, which again, may be linked in the description if you want to check that out. Then we got the CCI Blazers here. Those are a harder load, but still not what I would consider to be a full power load. The Federals I do consider to be a full power load. Again, not talking 700-800 foot-pounds of energy buffalo bore crap. And those kick even harder. So we'll do a little power comparison here. Weakest to strongest. And I mean, it's still extremely controllable, but you definitely feel these two a lot more. Try to do some cool slow-mo with that too. But the main difference, I mean, this is definitely a step up from that. This is a way step up from that as far as, you know, the recoil feels only a little more, but you get the like muzzle blast percussion in your face. It feels like someone lightly slapped you in the cheek when it goes off, and you do not get that with those. Now, out of my 3-inch, did a 605 review. You know what, I'll go ahead and link that in the description too if you want to see a Taurus 605 3-inch. With that little 3-inch in the review video, there was a massive difference between these and these in the felt recoil. But out of this 6-inch Rossi here, they almost feel the same, but it's just like the smallest amount more. But out of a 3-inch, it's a massive difference from the stepping up from the Blazers to the Federal there. All right, here we are down at the rifle range. Got my target set up there. It's that 16-inch still going. We're set up there at 100 yards. Of course, now it's raining and it's windy. But anyways, we'll see what we can do down here at 100 yards. If I don't have any luck at 100, I'll bring it up closer, but I'm thinking we should be able to get that no problem. So I'm actually just going to start out using the 38 specials here, and if we get it done with the 38s, then so be it. And actually, you know what? We got more 357 left than we do 38s. So I got 3 or 4 in here. I think it's 4, yeah. So let's send 4 of the 38s down there first, and then we'll switch to the 357 Magnums. And I don't have a spotter, so we'll start out over here. I'll get you guys zoomed in. And then once we find out where to hold and we're hitting this guy, I'll do some zoomed out shots from over the shoulder so you can see that I am in fact hitting it with the firearm that I say I am. Although I've never lied to you guys, never will. So here we go with those 38s. Knowing that we're going to get it drop, I think I'm just going to aim at the top of it to start, and we'll see where it goes. And I did not see a thing, so I'm going to have to review the footage here. Wow. Just under it. I'm sure you guys saw it there. Just under it, literally by an inch. So I just got to aim a smidge higher. And the great news is it was perfectly lined up. It was just too low. So here's 3 more of those 38 special. I should just quit while I'm ahead, huh? But let's go ahead and put those 357s in now. Now they should hit higher, so I'm just going to aim dead center with the 357s. All right. And I've been out here recording all day. I'd probably try to shoot this thing further for you guys, but I think 100 yards there without missing says plenty about the accuracy of that guy there. Well, let's get some from behind now. Got 2 left in the cylinder. Hopefully that's all I need. So again, down there at 100. Five in a row. So there you have it. That's a 100-yard capable, I would say, freaking easily. I think that one miss was slightly off to the right. So I just started aiming a smidge more left. I mean, I was aiming dead center the whole time with those 357s. So I just started aiming a hair off to the left in case I was right that that one went off to the right and didn't miss anymore. So, you know, it's, you know, if I remember correctly, down on the pistol bait, we did have some of our shots averaging a little bit off to the right, so that would make sense when I shot the shoot and see or splatter target or whatever it is. So yeah, even the super weak 38s are getting it done. Again, both of these are weak for caliber. 357 mag, no problem. I'm extremely confident saying I could, you know, get mostly hits, if not all hits, at 150 yards with that thing. And I'm sure this arms core ammunition is probably not the most accurate stuff either. So that's a 150 yards with iron sights there, no problem, because we just did 100 easy with real cheap underpowered ammo. But we'll wrap this one up. I mean, I wouldn't call it sentimental value, but I definitely, you know, have a history with this revolver. I mean, not a lot. It's mine, but or not mine, excuse me. It's not mine is what I meant to say. But, you know, I've shot it just a few times in the past, but I really just love what I consider to be, you know, for my generation, the classic look and feel of it. You know, I don't know about the brand new ones and all that, but this thing stood the test of time. You know, everything's held up real well. We just got that issue going on there with the primers, which again, very well may be the arms core. And I know I'm going to get a lot of comments. I've not had any issues, la la la. Like I said, you can check out my 357, or excuse me, I'm just all rattle brain. The 9mm arms core video I have, where I was having failures with arms core out of 3 different pistols, and it was for a completely different issue. And then you can read all the up-to-date comments. Again, I get them almost monthly. People are still having issues with arms core ammo. And if it is a hard primer in the arms core, I've had that issue with other ammo manufacturers in the past as well, so it's not just arms core if that's the case. Like I said earlier in the video, I'll ask the owner, see if he's had any issues like that. So that answer would have already been up in the video by now. So, you know, maybe something is going on with the revolver. Maybe the hammer spring needs replaced, or maybe it's just the primers in the arms core. I don't know. So regardless, even if it was the revolver, you know, it's easy to fix that. You know, I guess that guy could be bent, but it looks okay. I mean, it doesn't look perfectly straight, but it is whacking them right where it needs to. So I don't think that's the issue. Like I said, if anything, if it was the revolver, you know, it's probably just a wore out spring, needs a spring replaced. So, but other than that, which is an issue that's easily solved, whether it be an ammo swap or just putting a new spring in the revolver, I love this thing. You know, back in the day, these were like $3, I think, 3.5. The new RM66, which again is pretty much the same model and everything. It's just the new version now that they've brought them back out. You know, I wish I had one of the newer ones to compare it to tell you which one was like better made, but I think this is a pretty quality made revolver, you know, for the price range. And of course, it's made by Taurus, and some people are going to hate on Taurus, but I own a ton of Taurus. Well, a few of their revolvers now, but I've owned a ton of their pistols overall throughout the years, over a dozen, and I've only had an issue with like 1 or 2 of them, so I've been mostly satisfied. So, I mean, obviously, if I was rich, I'd have better stuff, but I'm on a tight budget, so that's why we buy Taurus and Ruger and Smith & Wesson and such for the semi-autos. I mean, but I really like this thing. Like I said, you gotta love, I mean, I like the sights, but you gotta love the fact that they're fully adjustable windage and elevation. Fantastic grips on these, and like I said, this gun's almost 20 years old, and this is the original grips, and they're still in fantastic shape. Of course, having the finger cutouts there really help give you a good grip. So not only that, but this texturing is fantastic. It still feels super soft, squishy rubber after 20 years. So fantastic grips on these. You know, it's stinking accurate. We just proved that. That reminds me, I got to try to go down to the rifle range. It's either already in the video by now if I went down there, or it'll be coming up as soon as I quit yapping here. But plenty accurate, getting offhand headshots there, 15 yards, no problem. Real easy to maintain the power at 357, even with the more powerful loads. I mean, fantastic single action trigger, if I didn't already say so. The double action is real nice too, smooth, lightweight. Again, that could be part of our problem with the primers, but it may just be the arms core. So yeah, I'm digging this thing big time. So I would assume that goes for the new RM66 model as well. But I definitely love this more classic one from the early 2000s era. I honestly wish it was mine, and I'll tell you, if he ever sells it, you better sell it to me. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out today, guys. Really appreciate it. For any of the products you see me use in my videos, safety glasses, ear muffs, target stand, targets I use, steel targets, chronograph, ballistics gelatin, way more. Links in the description for all that. And for things I cannot link to on YouTube, make sure you check out my campsite page. That's in the description, as well as my about section / bio. But thanks for stopping by today, guys. Really appreciate it. And I hope to catch you on the next one. And don't forget, I got some other videos linked for you guys in the description as well.